With the release of the newest Arrowverse crossover inside of Season 9, we now have 10 Arrowverse crossovers. So today, I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 10 Arrowverse crossovers ranked from the worst to the best. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SWNation, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 10 Arrowverse crossovers ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. That's going to pop up on your screen right now, and also that Arrowverse playlist. That link is always in the description. Please note that the crossover from Season 9 is not actually in this list. It's going to be an honorable mention, and I will tell you the honorable mention here. It's in between 6 and 5. That's all I gotta say. It's in between 6 and 5, so just pay attention to the video. But without further ado, let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off our list at number 9 for me has got to go to Heroes Join Forces, a small-scale crossover. It's not bad. There are multiple enjoyable things about it. I mean, Flash going back in time, and yeah, that's about it. The Hawkman and Hawkgirl stuff is fine enough, I guess. Vandal Savage is just meh, and besides the interactions of the characters, which was great, and the Flash going back in time, and Ollie finding his son, which all moves the universe forward and connects to later seasons of Arrow, it's not the crossover that first comes to my mind. Seems like more of a backdoor pilot to DC Legends of Tomorrow. Coming in at number 8 for me has gotta go to World's Finest. With Supergirl being the first Arrowverse show I've watched, this was my first introduction to the live-action Flash. But even going back to watch Season 2 of The Flash, this crossover expands the world hugely and hints at a larger universe with the promise of bringing Supergirl, Flash, and Green Arrow together one day. But the crossover is just one episode, and that is just a Supergirl episode, guest starring The Flash. Number 7 is Crisis on Infinite Earths. I really loved this crossover when it first came out. I had it high up on my list 3 years ago. But as huge as this crossover is, it makes you feel very under and overwhelmed. For some reason, the choices they made with the sacrifice of Oliver Queen just felt so unnecessary as well as lazy. They killed him off in the first episode of the crossover, which was weird. And then they killed him off again in the third episode. And then the 5th episode, he's killed again. The cameos are great, but was only there for the nostalgia and the look factor. In fact, this event was story and character second. Let's see who we can get to cameo first. So in the end, you feel overwhelmed and underwhelmed and just plain burned out. Number 6 is Flash v Arrow. Obviously, the first crossover is up this high. It was so influential to what we have today, as well as establishing the universe more by combining these two icons. I love it a little bit more each time I watch it because it's so small still, and the weight of the universe, the multiverse, is not on its shoulders. But essentially, it's just a Flash episode and an Arrow episode, but for some reason, it's just so special to me. It's so nostalgic, and it felt fitting that in Flash Season 9, the crossovers ended with these two, Barry and Oliver, because it essentially began with these two. Alright, so as an honorable mention, I have the Season 9 episode crossover, the Arrowverse joins forces once again. I am currently recording this inside of my dorm room because I didn't get to record it the first time that I recorded this entire video. So this is kind of like the editing process where I just had to record this little section in here. I thought this was a pretty great episode. The nuance of bringing back Green Arrow and Kid Flash and even Spartan John Diggle back for this last Arrowverse crossover worked very well for me. I mean, Bloodwork coming back as well. It just felt like a fever dream, and also it's one of the best episodes of the season in my opinion. Danielle Pennebaker does a great job with bringing back the other cast members from the show and making them feel like series regulars. It also felt fitting that the Arrowverse crossovers ended with these two, Green Arrow and the Flash, because essentially they began with these two. Kicking off my top 5 list for me has got to go to Armageddon, the newest crossover that's actually a 5-part event that showcases what the Flash can do and be if written correctly, and just let Barry use his abilities. Characters like Black Lightning and Atom were great additions, and using this even as a way to explore the reverse Flashpoint. And Barry's psyche is just interesting to me. But once all is revealed that it's Reverse Flash behind everything, Joe dying and Barry turning on Central City, it's all underwhelming. And the 5th part wasn't that satisfying to me, especially when they promoted characters like Mia and Batwoman, and they did virtually nothing with them. Number 4 is Duet. Duet is just so much fun, clarifying to the audience that Kara and Barry are just friends. As I was a theater kid, I find this one to be the most distinct crossover because it plays as a cliche mobster movie, but as a musical featuring these two super friends. The aesthetic is great, the songs are sung well, and the musical numbers really show the versatility in the Arrowverse. I have a blast with it every time I watch the episode, but essentially, it's just a Flash episode, guest starring Supergirl. Kicking off my top 3 list for me has got to go to Elseworlds, a fun, lighthearted crossover without the weight of the world on its shoulders. The body switching gimmick has some nuance to it, and the core draw to this is Ollie and Barry switching bodies. Finally bringing in the Batman mythos by going to Gotham and introducing Batwoman to the Arrowverse, and Superman joining in from the Supergirl show. The Trinity inside of this crossover was the standout, and it felt nice to have a fun, lighthearted crossover before the dreadful Crisis on Infinite Earths cameo Palooza event. But essentially, this is just a precursor and prologue, if you will, to Crisis on Infinite Earths. My runner-up at number 2 for me is Invasion. Just like the Flash vs. Arrow crossover, it's iconic by finally combining all of these shows for an old-fashioned alien invasion story. It feels like the Avengers just a little bit. The way that they banter, all of it works for me. And it felt so nice because Supergirl had like 2 seasons, Flash was on season 3, Arrow was on season 5, Legends had 2 seasons. We all had time to connect with these sets of characters, and combining the different tones together felt very MCU-like. The weight and impact of Flashpoint has narrative weight on the characters, as is all revealed, and with what we know from Legends of Tomorrow, this has huge consequences on the timeline, and also it has huge consequences for the rest of the Arrowverse. It will never be the same again now, since everybody knows that Barry did something. It's one of the most epic events, with even one character calling it the best team-up event ever.
Best team-up ever.
But obviously, at my number 1 has got to go to Crisis on Earth X. Just a large, epic-scale story scoping over another Earth, bringing together all of the characters in a way that makes sense. Through Barry and Iris's wedding, it makes sense having all of these characters from these different shows pop up here to where the Earth X counterparts can just attack all of them at once. We have emotional deaths, setups, great villains, callbacks to other seasons of the Arrowverse, emotions. All 4 episodes felt like a 4-hour film, and that 4-hour film feels like an event. This is prime Arrowverse, and as I always say, it comes in at number 1. Alright guys, that is it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list, it was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 9 Arrowverse crossovers. You can even add in the season 9 episode if you want to. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter, it's going to pop up on your screen right now, and also that Arrowverse playlist. That link is always in the description. And with that being said, guys, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace.